Now that we completed the lighting, it's time to start working on the well decks. These are the two well decks. What I did was I cut these holes out so I can have access to wiring, but you don't want to cut the blank areas because it provides support for your hull. The next step is remove all of this detail that's on here. We're going to lay the wood deck down and then the crane bodies. I also drilled a hole right here. This is where the fiber optics are going to go through for the skylight that's on the forecastle. Someone had a question about that skylight. Are they lit? Well, they're not actually lit. I know there's a mess hall where that skylight falls and the light illuminates out of there. So yes, I will be using fiber optics to light that skylight. I did take some time off to complete the website. I decided to go ahead and publish the website. Let's go over that real quick. So here is the website. The first thing I want to talk about is the top menu right here. So these are all the manuals. So let's look at the Trumpeter guide. You'll get the whole entire manual and so on and so forth. I just assembled all the PDF files here. It's just more convenient for me, and the plans are a little bit different, so we'll take a look at the plans. So here is a 3D menu. You could just browse through it this way. You'll have to go back over here and just click on it, and you can move around, look at the decks and so on and so forth. Let's look at a deck and click on it to zoom back out. These plans are from 36 Dreams. They're pretty good. Let's look at the forecastle. And I'm sure most of you've seen these plans already. And over here, I just created a couple pages so you can see the progress of the build. Basically, it's a gallery. This other page that I created was all the stuff that I've been purchasing for the kit and links to where I purchased them, so if you need to use it. And finally, we have the footer, and basically the website is about just making things easier so I don't have to be scrolling through pages and all that other stuff. You're welcome to use it. So let's go ahead and start working on these well decks. So here is the back well deck. We're going to go ahead and start removing all this detail. We're going to start off with these hatch access side panels. Okay, now you get a flat razor, kind of level stuff out and see where your high points and low points are, and just rub your razor right through it. It's pretty much like sanding. Oh, that feels smooth right there. Get yourself a small file just to clean these edges. Don't file this, just clean the edges. You don't want to make these holes any bigger than what they already are. The next thing we have to do is just fill in a few holes here. I'll be using, of course, the same old Tamiya putty. Get and make sure it gets in there. There you go. That's definitely inside all these little holes here. And then just take your razor just to level it out. The less sanding, the better. So that's it. Let this dry up. We'll go ahead and sand that down and then lay the wood deck in there. Use the high detail side. Now we're going to go ahead and measure these guys out, see how they fit. And that goes right in there. Okay, so for this one, I've already went through a few tests. You want to make sure you line it up with these holes. So the holes over here will line up perfectly. Once again, I'm using this Gorilla Glue right here. Go ahead and just get a generous amount in there. I'll put some paper towels down here so it won't make much of a mess. And just get it in every little crevice that you can. You have plenty of time for this to dry up. Go ahead and push the high ends down. So I'm just going to throw a couple clamps on here. Now that these decks are nice and dry, they're solid, we're going to start working on this back well deck. We're going to lay these plates down here. So the only way I'm going to line them perfectly is go ahead and take the wood deck from the AK model and just lay it right on top. And these holes are where the plates will go. You don't need much of this glue, just get it in there, line it up, and just drop it in. And it sticks almost instantly. Now if you're using the AK wood deck, then you don't have to worry about what I'm doing. Just want to make sure it's going in the right direction. And there it goes. Now we can go ahead and pull this other deck out of here. Of course, the glue decided to go over a little bit and catch this one, so just gonna pop this off. Anyway, getting back to the well deck, we're ready to move on. I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple lights here. So finally, we received China 3D parts. We ended up getting a whole bunch of boxes here, as you can see. But this is one of the main reasons that was holding up the whole project for me, was these bulwarks right here. I finally got these and they look really good. We're putting on the China 3D doors. They work really well. The other thing is I added the doors here too. At any rate, let's go ahead and get back to doing this and let's start rolling. So here we are, back where we left off. So these are all China 3D. This is the other China 3D stuff that we are waiting on. These are the bulwarks all painted up and textured, ready to go. We have, I guess this is bulkhead A, and as you can see here, it's all wired up and ready to go. This here is all done as well. We put the China 3D doors on here. We also put windows, also lit as well, as you can see. There are two lights on these corners right here, one there and one there. And we lay this guy right here. These windows light up real well with these lights that we installed right here. The other China 3D parts we have is, all of this is China 3D. I've changed all the vents. I use, I believe, is the AK Screams. These are the hatch covers. They look very, very nice. Crane bases, these are all China 3D as well. So the old crane bases are gone. And finally, we have the new cranes. Now these cranes already have all the controls. All I had to do was wire in a rail. The rest is all put in, so that made it a lot easier. So at this point, we're pretty much done with the well decks to the point where we're ready to put them onto the actual ship itself. So basically what I did at this point was set up most of the stuff in the center of the well deck, as you can see. I also set up all the electrical. And if you're wondering what these silver blocks are, these are where all the light is able to bleed through. I shine a pretty decent light, and I can see everywhere where I have tape is where light escaped. This is the front well deck. The same thing with light escaping in the back. So these two are pretty much done. I did set up a pigtail to hook all these guys up. Now the poop deck has been overhauled. This docking platform here is a Shapeways, and I love it because we didn't have to do any of the piping down underneath. The piping's already done. Everything is there. I just had to just paint it up, get it nice and neat. And how I wired is I actually put the 5 lights instead of 3 that I had earlier, and I wired them on top and then lay the wood deck on top of it. These guys here are China 3D. These skylights here are also China 3D, as wiring it and getting it ready to be installed. So that's all we have for right now. The next video, we'll go ahead and put it all together. We're ready to move on to the next stage of this build.